Hi, this is Gail with BERNINA of Naperville, and you know what? I cannot believe that I'm making this video already for you because we just got in the new small square clamp hoop from BERNINA, and we all know the selling feature and the awesome thing about this hoop is that this one is going to go on your 5 series through the 8 series machines. And yes, it fits that new 790 Pro. Come on. So this hoop is the embroidery field, if you have a BERNINA 7 series or an 8 series, is going to be 6.5 inches square. If you have a BERNINA 5 series, it's going to be 6.25 by 6.5 inches. So you lose just a wee bit, but I think you can handle it, everybody. So another thing that you might want to watch, I went into a deep dive with, is the medium square clamp hoop video that I made. It's right here on our YouTube channel, so you can just search that out. In that video, I kind of show you how to multi-hoop and do all kinds of things with the hoop. I'm just going to give you a little down and dirty lesson on our small clamp hoop, but it's the same as using the medium clamp hoop. Another thing that you need to be mindful of when you purchase this hoop is you need to download and install the new firmware onto your machine. And the firmware is available at BERNINA.com. If you're timid about that, Grandma Gail is going to help you out. That's right. If you purchase a BERNINA of Naperville USB stick, we will put the files on your stick exactly the way they need to go onto your machine. The only caveat is that when you put this into your cart with your small clamp hoop, of course, you're going to tell us in the comment section exactly what machine model you have. So what I mean by that is if you have a 770 Quilters Edition that's been upgraded to Plus, we need to know that. So your 770 that started off its life as a 770 QE, you need to let us know that it's a 770 QE with the small screen that's been upgraded to Plus. You also need to tell us if it's a special edition, like a 770 Tula or a 570 Tula or a 790 Crystal Edition or an 880 Crystal Edition. You understand. And if we don't understand, we're going to call you or send you an email to make sure that we're sending you the right one. So I'm updating my BERNINA 880 Plus Crystal Edition, and it doesn't matter if I'm in sewing mode or embroidery mode here. I'm just going to press the gears right here on the machine, and then I'm going to go to the machine button. And I'm going to place my USB stick that has my download in my machine, and then I'm going to go to my gears or my little wrench there, and then update. And now I can save my data, any personal settings or anything that I have with my machine, onto the stick. And as you can see, it spins because it's thinking. And then once that's complete, I see my update button is highlighted or active again. So I'm going to go ahead and press that. And now this is going to take a minute because it's going to load all of the new information from the update. And it's very important that we leave the machine alone at this point and let it go through its process. So the machine is going to power off, power back on again, and then the final time it comes on, it's going to explain to you up here that the update was successful. So we just need to leave it in this position. And now it's successful, and I'm ready to sew, because we don't want you to plug in that stick and then nothing happens, right? All right, well, let's see how we're going to use this hoop. Here is a quilting design that was completed in our midi hoop. I love the midi hoop. It's got the ratchet system. It's easy to put the quilt in. As you can see, there's no extra stabilizer in here or anything like that. However, you might notice that there's a lot of extra material that's been used here. And by material, I mean fabric, batting, and backing. So what we have in this small square clamp hoop that you can see here is less area at the top and the bottom in comparison to the midi hoop. So that means that I can take this design and have a smaller quilt sandwich and place in here, and that way I don't have all that wasted area. And of course, what I'm making here are some hot pads for my house. It's time to replace some of these things. So the way that the clamp hoop works, particularly if you are not trying to do like an X marks the spot or something like that, it clamps in with these little guys right here. Now this is the same process as the medium square clamp hoop that you saw me use in a separate video from this one, but this one is a little bit smaller. And like I mentioned in the intro, this hoop works on the 5 series and the 7 series, but we're going to talk about that in just a minute. But just for the core fundamentals of this, we're going to take that hoop, put it into place here, place it down here, and because I don't really care how centered this is, I can just leave it like that. But then when I hoop up in this hoop, I kind of go across the street a little bit in my clamping, and that helps distribute the fabric nice and straight in this hoop. So there we have it. Now let's talk about if you have a Bernina 5 series and you're using this hoop. So the embroiderable space when you have a 5 series is 6 and about 1/4 inches wide by 6.5 tall. So it's not exactly square. If you have a Bernina 7 series, 8 series machines, you know, the ones with the wider area there in the harp to the right of the needle, you're going to get 6.5 inches by 6.5 inches square. So just be mindful of the special little dotted line that you see right here, because that's going to be the embroiderable area of the small clamp hoop. Let's say that you wanted to actually hoop something with like this precise hooping, and you want to use the template that came with your small clamp hoop. I'm going to line this up so that the straight lines that I've marked here, my vertical and my horizontal lines, will line up nicely with the center. See that little hole with the center? See that little hole there of my block right here. So I'm going to place that into position just like so, and then I'm just going to carefully lift this and place it into the center of this hoop. And you can take your fabric pieces, your batting, your quilt sandwich, whatever, and you can kind of rearrange it so it's just there like that. Now I know that there's a little bit of glare here. I'm sorry, I can't turn the lights off. But once you get this into position, when I clamp this into the hoop, I will start on one side, and I try very hard not to wiggle this too much, but you really want to look right here how your lines on the template are lining up with the lines on the fabric, because you want to maintain that they are nice and straight, particularly when we're using our Bernina 570, because it does not have pinpoint placement. So now I'm going to go across the street from this just to make sure that my line maintains its straightness. Go over here and do the same. Okay, go up here and do the same. And I'm kind of coming down on the clamp hoop straight down rather than curling it over like that. So, you know, coming in like this and curling it over tends to pull the fabric in one direction or another. So we're going to go either side of this straight down like that, and straight down like that. And that's still straight. And now we just have these final 2 pieces to put into place. And now we're ready to take it over to our Bernina 570 CAIF edition. I'm working on my Bernina 570 CAIF Special Edition. You can see here by the super cute light blue faceplate with these flowers on them. And I'm gonna go straight into our design folder and scroll down to the CAIF folder that's on this machine. I'm looking for the quilting designs, and quite honestly, I think any of these are really cute. I'm gonna go ahead and pick, I like these umbrellas. I'm gonna pick those. I think they're umbrellas. If they're beach balls or something else, let me know. That's not the one I wanted though. All right, and as you can see, the clamp small hoop has already been selected because it's picking the smallest hoop possible for the piece. But let's go here for a second and let's just look at what happens if we were going to stitch this out in our medium hoop. And you can see there all that extra space. So when we pick the small medium clamp hoop, or the clamp S, it's filling that space rather nicely. So let's go ahead and pick that. And let's go ahead and center our design. And we start by putting the hoop on. And then I'm just going to touch these little crosshairs here. I had picked the check button, and that kind of triggered the machine to tell me to put the hoop on. But then I want to hit these little crosshairs because that's going to carry my needle to the center of the design, which also means the center of the hoop. And there you can see. Now, I'm pretty happy with the way this looks, but it might need just a slight adjustment. So I'm going to turn my hand wheel, and you can see there that I didn't get it quite in the center. Now that could be because I was a little lazy with hooping it, or I need to calibrate my hoop. So if you've never seen how to calibrate a new hoop, let me show you right now. You're going to go to your little house or the gears if you have a Bernina 7 series through the 8 series that are there. But when on our 5 series machine, the gears are down here. So I'm going to touch that. I'm going to go to my embroidery settings, and then I'm going to choose hoop calibration. And now it detected that we have the clamp small hoop on. So now I'm going to use these arrows around here and move those until my needle can be fed right through the hole in my template. Well, I say that's spot on, and I didn't have to move that at all. But if you did, you would just touch those little arrows on your screen to get things exactly the way that you need them. Now that we know that our hoop has been calibrated properly, we're going to go back to embroidery, and we're just going to move our design a little bit so that it's right into place. By centering our needle again, and then using these knobs, which goes side to side, and this knob which goes up and down to adjust our needle. And I will put my foot down just so I can see better what I'm doing here to get things right into position. So I like where I am there, and now I'm gonna close out of this screen, hit my sew button, my thread up command. There we go. I'm going to pull that bobbin thread up like this. And now I'm going to proceed to stitch. And if you need to stop the machine, the button that starts it stops it. So I'm going to trim my little tails, and we're going to finish this up in no time. think this came out pretty cute. And you know, I just love these quilted designs on our special edition K570. Now you also have these designs on your special edition 770 K, but they're a little bit larger. They're more in that 8-inch size range. Well, please, I hope that you found this video informative and it will kind of help maybe make your hoop buying decision a little bit easier. And also, I hope that it helps you understand the whole process for getting always the latest firmware from Bernina. And remember that Bernina doesn't charge you for the firmware, nor do you need to pay anything to download it and upload it to your machine yourself, but we will charge you for that USB stick that we are going to put the firmware on there for free. But, you know, hopefully that will help you. And you have any questions, you can call us and, you know, we'll try to talk you through that. So for more tutorials and more information and other fun stuff here at Bernina of Naperville, don't forget to check out our Bernina of Naperville YouTube channel. It's easy. It's youtube.com/Bernina of Naperville, and there you can like, comment, and subscribe. Until then, happy embroidering, happy quilting, and happy all the other things that you're creating.